Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy follow-up Friday. Yes, that is the goal for today. And we got lots to talk about as far as how we can follow up and take our conversations up even more so than they were last week. And that's because we're discussing in continuation of yesterday, the habits of transformational leadership. We've already established that that's what we all are. We are all Optavia leaders. And so we're looking in order to be able to inspire and motivate those who we talk to. So in order to discuss, and like we've had brought out all this week, and for the last month, that everything that we're talking about, we can find right in the Coach app. And another reference is going to be Coach Answers. So we have so much information that's available for us. So what we're going to take a look at now is our fourth Habits of Health, Transformational Leadership, number 4. It says that we connect authentically and we cultivate trust. So that sounds beautiful, but what does that really mean? Well, this reminds us that as leaders, we always come from a place of empathy and compassion for others. So as soon as we bring on our first client, then what does that make us? It makes us leaders, yes? We're helping them to succeed on their journey. And so to do that, it's very critical that we need to build a relationship with them in order for a connection to continue to grow. So how do we do that? One of the main reasons is by connecting authentically in conversation. So sometimes when we think about having a conversation with someone, we might think, well, what is this? What do I have to say? What do I have to bring to the conversation? But when we are being leaders, what we're interested in is what they have to say. We want to know what's on their mind. We want to know what is important to them. So then there are some words that we need to look at carefully. I, me, and my. What do we do with those? We scratch them off our list and we take them out of our conversation when we're speaking with someone else, because we're not talking about us. We are interested in what is interesting to them. Remember, we hear from time to time the value of people don't care how much we know until they know how much we care. And the only way we can know what to care about regarding them is to do what? We have to listen and we have to talk to them. Now, what makes it, when you're in a conversation with someone, like if you're in a conversation with one of your good friends, what is it that qualifies them as a good friend? Is it what? I don't know. At this point, put it, if you want to, feel free, put it in the chat. We don't have a whole bunch of time, but I'm thinking, is it because they're a good listener? Somebody who doesn't rush forward in the conversation or cut you off? Are those things that would make a person a good friend or a good listener? Maybe so, because that's what we would need when we're talking to somebody. We want to make sure that we're listening to them so that we can hear their pain points. Or today, how does that translate into follow-up Friday? When we're speaking with someone, we want to make sure that we're not trying to push forward our agenda, so to speak. We want to make sure that they know that we're interested in them. That could be very simple of hello, how are you? How are you doing? When we have a friend, we can go on their website and look at their page, yes, and say, oh, okay, I see that they are interested in, they and their family just took this amazing trip. So we can speak to them about that. Whatever we're doing, we're talking to them about something that's important to them, not anything that's important to us. One of our previous trainings, it says, we want to make sure that we're doing what a good friend does. Do that, and that's what, do what a good friend does, and what you want to do in order to be a good friend and be that to everyone. So what's our second point? Our fifth habit of transformational leadership is that we awaken potential and we transform masterfully. We transform masterfully. So what does that mean? Well, that means that we need to perfect what Carol masterfully shared with us yesterday. And that's the way that we connect with people. So yesterday Carol shared with us the value of ourselves and improving the kind of people that we are. And what we're discussing today is relationship based. So we're interested in improving all of the relationships. I'm a little sketchy because my screen just went out, and so I'm having to use something a little different, but it's an obstacle. And what are we going to do but embrace this obstacle and keep on moving forward? Yes. So as we're going forward in the line of compassion and in speaking to our friends and those who we have the potential to talk to, remember that what touched us about wanting to become clients is that the one who became our potential coach, what did they do? They touched our hearts. They listened to us and they reached forward in a masterful way and shared information with us. And so that's what we're interested in doing. We're wanting to awaken them and to find out what's interesting to them. So people need to know what it is that we believe about them. So why don't we share what we believe about them? I think you're amazing. I think you're a wonderful person. What does that do? It opens up to them the fact that they can do what? Trust us and feel comfortable with us. And that's what we want them to do. Because there's something about our health assessments, yes, is that when we talk to people, what's the first thing that we do? We begin to ask them some very personal questions, yes? And in the process of that, our motive when we're discussing with them is not, I want to get through all these questions. This is a questionnaire. I want to make sure that I have everything answered and then we can go forward. No, we want to make sure that we are listening to what they're saying. And what does that mean? That we are not what? Multitasking. So while we're there, we are concentrating and we are paying attention to what they're saying so that we can listen. And that's why we have pen and paper, so that we can take notes and then we can come back and share that with them so that they can understand the value of what we're sharing with the program that we have to offer. So this does not happen overnight, right? This is a skill set, and that's why we get an opportunity to go back and watch it again and listen to it again. But the first place that we have to start with is in our heart. We have to think about what's important to the persons who we're speaking to. So our sixth habits of health transformational leadership point is that we deliver extraordinary results, and in the process, we serve to better humankind. That may sound like a tall order, but what does that actually translate to? That we are in service to others, and that's what we do. Maybe previously it has been that I, me, and my, but when we change that to you and your, then we become interested in what is important to them. So our stories might be extraordinary, but they're not unique. The universe plays no favorites. We have to do the work and make a decision that we're willing to do what it takes and that we're willing to do the discipline every day to move forward and then bring others along with us. And that's the value of delivering extraordinary results. We're not the extraordinary, but we definitely have an opportunity that is extraordinary to them. So we want to make sure that we do the work in order to help them to see the value that it has in their lives. And then we don't work alone. We have a team that we are asking and showing them the value of coming and becoming part of that team so that they themselves can reach and accomplish their goals. So it's important that we decide that we're not special, but we're going to take this opportunity and go out and do the necessary work in order to help them to become spectacular. We see the results that we deliver, they're extraordinary. We've all experienced that in our lives. And we consistently set goals all the time to create growth in ourselves as well as in others. We're mission driven, and we understand how our business goals are aligned with our mission. We always consider the bigger picture in our decisions and continually act for the benefit of all. So when we look at the fact that we are mission driven, then what's the mission? We hear it that it is to get the world healthy. Does that sound big to you? Well, then let's make it smaller in our world. Let's look at to make the nation healthy, to make our city healthy, to make our neighborhood healthy, to make our families healthy. So when we flip and reverse and look at what has the world done for us, or what has the neighborhood done for us? They have made us unhealthy. They've given us unhealthy habits. We have all sorts of negative and unhealthy foods that are at our easy access. So what can we do? We can take those and reverse it. We can help to make our neighborhoods, our families, our communities healthy by giving them a healthier lifestyle, by showing them a better way to live, by showing them that they're thinking that in concentrating on, I'm going to reach out for this comfort food because it's going to make me feel better, to show them a healthier way of thinking, healthy body, healthy mind. And that translates, of course, we know, into a healthier way of life. So we look at it as the mission to help our neighbors to get healthy. So what do we need to do in order to do that? We have to remember to take it from a place of it all goes back to our heart. And we stop and consider, who can I serve today? So we're here at the early part of the day, whether it's East Coast or West Coast, it's still an early part of the day. And we have opportunity to stop and think, who can I help? Who can I serve today? And then take a minute to think about it. And then write it down. Some of those people we find in the list of folks that we've spoken with in our past health assessments, and that brings in follow-up Friday, that we want to go back and talk to them and bring them up so that we can share something very, very promising with them. So our habits of leadership we can find in our health app. So what are we going to do today? We're going to take our time and go and help make our neighbors healthy, and at the same time to improve the kind of people that we are. James, that's all I got. Have a good weekend.